Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I want to review my very first game of Kohan since I've returned to the game, and it's going to be a 4v4 multiplayer game where I am part of Team 3, and let's just jump right into it. So this one runs the 2.02 multiplayer patch with 1.10, I think, as the primary patch. So let's jump in. So my position is as council at the back, and my allies, I have a Sia player, a nationalist ally, and another Sia player. On the other side, let's just go up. They are better positioned because they have more of the map under their control with their positioning. And there is Papa as council, Jay as Sia, another Sia, and then Royalist. So faction-wise, it's mostly equal. In terms of overall positioning, the advantage definitely goes to the opponents because they are well spread out, having control of a good amount of territory. Two of their main starting positions will have outposts on them, which gives them even more map control. And finally, they have most of the independence cities, right? There's a town here, Sia Town, a Sia Village, Royalist Village, and Royalist Town, as well as a Heruin trainer. So that's most of them. On our side, we only have the Nationalist Village and a forward-positioned Sia Village in front. So we're gonna seize them, of course, but it does mean that our outposts don't really help all that much in comparison to the opponents. So in terms of starting strategies, our Sia player is doing a very traditional skeleton strat with Iron Export to start. I kind of messed up my start. Okay, what I did was I looked at my two heroes that I unlocked. Neither was particularly good, so I decided to do a super scout start. So I'm gonna go for double scout with rangers. My ally McLeod did a very traditional nationalist strategy start, which is to go with a Dragoon unit. And then our last player is also doing the mass short skeleton strategy. Okay. On their side, one of their Sia players unlocked 3 Kohan, which generally means it's, and with the buildings that it has, carpentry, barracks, temple. Yep. So it's going to be going for shadow beasts. Okay. So that's the strategy for him. He's going for shadow beasts. And he messed up. This is not the shadow beast build. He is supposed to build what's it called? He's supposed to build blacksmith to mana forge here, and it's supposed to have a quarry in this village. And then in the main, yeah, you start with carpentry guild, you go for barracks and temple, you get rid of, this is also wrong, you get rid of the barracks and you add bazaar. And then the temple can be replaced with a library. So that way, with +4 iron here, with +6 wood here, and then you have the bazaar -5 and so on, and then a mine here for stone, you get positive income. You don't end up with -2 mana and -16 ore the way he did. So he definitely messed up this build. The build order is all wrong. Anyways, so moving on. So that's a big flaw here. This is fairly standard Royalist. You get the workshop, you get a Dragoon, and a Horse Archer. Now, you typically get a Horse Archer with a Kohan, so it's interesting that he recruited this without the Kohan. And then you have the billet to reduce costs of hiring, so that your royalist villages become much cheaper. So fairly standard royalist strat there. And a very interesting, a billet as Sia. So, and the standard Skelly strat for Fluke. Okay. And lastly, Papa. Well, he already captured the Indie, so it matters much less. But yeah, this looks like a very standardized starting strat as Council. Okay. So just the standard Dragoon start with a bank and another Iron Expo here. And then you build another wood here to even out the gold income. More or less. Yeah. And so my start is kind of weird, right? I have 2 Super Scouts. So in terms of combat ability, the 2 Super Scouts are really just much weaker than Papa's Dragoon, right? Due to the protection ability on this Dragoon, giving them all +6 defense. So that kind of puts them at like 18 defense, which is hard to deal with. But I do have pretty powerful flanking ability, and the Rangers can be very successful as assassination characters to take down enemy Kohans if they're not paying attention. So far less head-on combat ability, but pretty good flanking ability is what they offer. Okay. Interesting. Why hasn't he built a second iron export? Okay, that's different. He chose to hire 2 more skeletons so that he has a grand total of 5 skellies, a shadeling, 5 skellies, a shadeling, and a settler. Okay. I guess that's kind of right. Kinda. The -15 ore is killing him though. Well, because he hired yet another shadeling. That's one thing I noticed a lot of players underestimate. Just the sheer impact of being having lots of ore. So yeah, you can kind of see it in the income difference. He has 17 income. I'm sitting on 50 income, although my army is significantly weaker than his. But I can afford to go harder on economy because nobody should be attacking me. I am in the middle of my out team, and until I captured this settlement, it seemed like I was the furthest backward. So, little raid here on the village of Jay. Jay's units are totally out of position, so he's not. There's nothing to come back and recover to save this village. So I'm just able to take it down. No allies nearby at all. None of the allies. So just literally a free raid, capture and destroy. Instead, the 2 of them went to attack Teal. They're gonna force a sell. Effin already got hammered. Right? So yeah, looks like Effin did a more proper skeleton start as compared to UTS. He has less skellies, but he had higher income. And even though he lost his main village, he's still in a good position. Interesting. Huh. Village captured and raised. Alright. So that's why... Okay, I see. So Effin got pretty hammered with that. I really don't like this -11. He really should build a quarry here. And instead he threw in 2 zombies. Okay, whatever. So, yeah. Too little... Just a bad starting strategy on his part. See? I'm at 65 income per minute. He's at 26. It's going to lead to a big difference. And in the meantime, McLeod's at 76 with 200 gold. So he is by far the economy leader on our team. So both of our Sia players have their economies ripped apart. Papa is now doing very well since he sees this extras town. And the raiding UPS with 5 skellies is going to fail to this. There's just too many enemies. There's the militia, there's 2 skellies, 3 skellies, and there's also 2 footmen and an engineer. And yeah, he retreats at this point. So his tanking economy strategy is not paying off. In the middle, I added in 2 additional skeleton warriors to my 2 super scouts. And I'm mostly stuck with that kind of army. So already, this is an army that, compared to, let's say, Green's, Green would not be able to capture anything if he attacked me, right? So I have much more economy than him, and I would be able to stop his attack, as a quick note, in a situation like this. So yeah, you can kind of see I'm not exactly a huge fan of hard economy tanking strategies. Papa is well off, having seized that. Papa is now going to capture another independent. Okay. Their backline Sia player is at 71 economy, which is even higher than mine. Okay, doing pretty well there. And whoa, Giglian is suddenly up to 92 econ. Is it because of the heroine? No, just interesting. Just expansions and building more. Okay, so he built multiple iron exports. Interesting. So he just upgraded his economy dramatically. Even without yet filling this heroine, his economy is really quite high. And he has a... Does he have a decent military force? No, he doesn't. Oh, the Dragoon's dead. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, that explains the plus 14 iron. But the Dragoon is dead. Although... Oh, it was disbanded. Okay. So to keep the hero alive, the Kohan alive, I must have missed something, but he must have disbanded it to keep the hero alive and then train the new Dragoon from the billet. Alright. Raid. Okay. Combo raid between Mac and Mac and Effin raid. Okay, getting flanked by SBs. In the center, I was raiding. I managed to capture the village, but Papa hit me from behind with his Dragoon. So this time, I don't get to raise anything. The support has arrived. And these skellies just aren't doing well at all. Yeah. Oh, baby. Do I get to raise this? No. Too much time buying. Right? engineers, now this Shadow Beast, now everything is collapsing in. So, no chance. And Papa has enough defenses here to protect against UTS as well. So, alright. So, at least I forced the sale, and I drew a whole bunch of attention, but definitely didn't go as planned. So, Effin has kind of recovered the economy, despite an early loss of the iron export village. It would be a lot higher if he had that. 18 more income, right? 15 plus another 3 from being -1 iron. So, but he is definitely hurt. Mac is at 106. I am at 66, so my econ has kind of stalled. And for whatever reason, I built a third Super Scout. Probably not the smartest choice there. There's better options than a third SS, for sure. For example, if I sell this carpentry guild, I could throw a temple here and then start manufacturing infantry wizard with a healer, like a cleric or a channeler. So there are better options for sure. Okay, regardless. And yeah, UTS's rating is not gonna work. He should run while he still can. Why is Lazarus just standing there? Get out! Okay, lucky him. Watching that was kind of horrific. Seeing a low hit point Kohan just standing there, waiting to die. Okay, I think I added the third Super Scout, thinking that I would be much faster at raiding. And this is interesting. So they gave Jay this royalist town, and he's not building a quarry here, even though he's -13 on the ore. Yeah, again, I mean, that's a mistake I used to make a lot too. Not willing to build the ore buildings, but you really should. If you have that much negative ore, building a quarry can really improve your income. Just holding on to it. So. All right. Meanwhile, Giglian, slowly filling up the heroine. Right, income's at 92. Everyone on their team is doing fairly well overall, I would say. And Fluke is solid, right? In the back, 81 income. The only question is, does he have a trainer yet? Oh, he has a trainer making battle priests. Okay. So the Royalists, popping up the Royalist BPs now. Clerics here, better than BPs, okay. Quicker recovery, I suppose. And I mean, moving them down here to fight against green would be a good idea, I suppose. We have two Sia, right? He could send them down to fight green. He could send them over to fight teal as well. And they would both suffer. Now this is kind of funny. The sheer number of archers here doesn't really make sense to me. Like, the horse archers are basically useless against skeletons. Okay. I mean, you make heroine because of the rangers anyway, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah. Oh, interesting. New hero. Typhon. +6 attack, -2 defense. Okay, cool. And the area attack, it looks like. Alright. So, kind of stalemate here on this side for now. Wow. Meanwhile, Mac's economy continues to improve. He's added 2 5-man disciple units, and a whole bunch of other units, and his income is still at 132. That's crazy. How? Oh, okay. So he had some stone mines to increase his ore income, and yeah. And I think he had a neutral, independent, that he's used for economy. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Meanwhile, I'm now down to -10 ore, -2 wood, and a lot of extra magic. Disciples plus super scouts in the center, and on the left, I don't understand why Papa is not able to crush green. If I'm perfectly honest. Double cleric, double battle priest. Huh. I think the double cleric was a mistake. It should have been a double battle priest unit as well. So he just made a mistake there. Anyways. If I were Papa, I'd probably grab all the units, you know, the sticks, you know, everything, and just launch this hard push into green. You know, get Fluke to come and help. But anyways. Interesting. The disciples ran off to fight against them. But we should have probably cut into the middle. Of course, we didn't know that they would be pushing in like this, but there was an opportunity. Zombies just get out now. Oh. More armies for Papa. So due to having this Sia trainer, he is rapidly making more military units. And in the meantime, I just take the opportunity to try to raid. There we go. Another one destroyed. So that actually hurt his economy quite a bit, and capped him at 9 pop temporarily. Worked out pretty well. Since his attention was drawn by green, I could make a raid. And now we know that they're pushing, so I've been gathering my forces back. And Papa's Dragoon ran north to protect. So that put him out of the fight in the south. Kind of worked out. And due to being out of the fight, our reinforcements, Mac's disciples, my super scouts were all able to regroup and head south. So that raiding occupied one of their units and kept them out of the battle. Very nice. And now the flanking hits. Lazarus died. I just saw the dead characters. Okay. They also flanked me. Luke, that is. And this flank has been successful. Caught both of the footmen. And so they've been crushed. Pop those units, get flanked a little. Retreat forward to pull a more flank. And Papa retreats. So yes. Finally, I guess I retreat, because too many enemies in too many directions. Better to run and survive than continue to stay in the battle. Although surprisingly, Mac did not retreat. Okay, there we go. Alright. Green runs away. Which is funny, because okay, he's running away from these guys, the battle priest, with the single paladin this time. What is Fluke doing? Why doesn't he just recruit 4 battle priests? I'm so confused. Well, in any case. So actually, green and purple have a pretty overwhelming force on this side, right? 4 prophet units. Some skellies, some horse archers, 2 of them, some dragoons, and some battle priests. Whereas we have my 3 super scouts, some zombies and so on that are very vulnerable to the battle priests. And actually, Mac even ran away, sent his disciples far away too. So that does not leave us much to fight with. Oh, I did get out 2 crossbow wizards at this point, but they don't have a front line. So that's a problem. If I had a front line for them, they would be able to rip up these enemies. But as it is, their only front line is really the super scouts, and that's not enough. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, UTS's economy is up to 62. My economy is pretty much stalled at 73. And this is interesting. There was a settle location here that I should have settled and didn't. So that's a mistake on my part. Should have been able to recognize that with 1 settlement here, 1 settlement here, and then 1 settlement down here, there should be somewhere I can settle here. That an extra settlement would really help, you know. Instead, I don't seem to have realized that, and so I haven't hired a settler. Oh. And also, I traded a village of mine for a Sia village, so that way he can recruit some council units because he was so scared because of the battle priest issue. So yeah, here's a hard push. Horse archers, skellies, and prophets and so on. Can't fight it because I don't have any real frontliners. And also, it's basically 2v1. Just doesn't work. On the right. Alright. Giglian has a lot of Heruin Windriders out now. He's not relying on magic units, just a lot of Heruin. UTS doing a raid in the center. Oh, he actually took down a Sia town. But in order to actually win, he has to also take down this outpost. Which is not happening, given that he's going to get flanked by all those Heruin. Well, he might. Due to the low, extremely low morale. Nope, never mind. The Rangers were too effective. And the Dragoon. Just crush that. And in the center... Yeah, without any... Why is my zombie front line running away? Oh man. Lack of coordination. Our settlements are slowly falling. And UTS just lost like everything. All the skeletons pretty much died. Although he may have intended it. If he were planning to recruit from here. No, he just retrained them. So, that's kind of silly. Alright. So, Mac is shifting some units to the left. He tanked economy to give us some reinforcements here. I also tanked economy because I knew that we needed to hold at this point. So I didn't tank. So we both tanked to get army units out so that we can help fight off this invasion. Because if we lose all of this, you know, it's game over. He continues to make disciples. So I have 8 units on the field. 3 super scouts, 2 are crossbows. So that's 5 units. 6, 7, some zombies. And I guess there has to be one more unit, which I'm not sure which one. Maybe somewhere. Oh, so 4 super scouts. 4 super scouts, 2 crossbows, and 2 zombies. So Max starts things off. The enemy invasion is moving deeper. At this point, they're finally getting stopped. And it helps that we're attacking them from all directions. So they're getting flanked from behind. We're retaking all our settlements and driving them off, because now they have to retreat all the way back here to heal back up. Okay. J has also tanked with a bunch of mages, some shadelings, some shadow beasts, a bit of everything. And somehow the Sia town, oh yeah, the Sia town was captured earlier, so it's empty now. He's kept alive by this. This Caldenite Spire is what kept him alive. Oh man. Alright. So I'm getting hit in the middle now. I have nothing here to fight off this push. All these archer, mage, sorceresses, and so on. So I'm gonna lose that right away. Guess a quick probe of this. So that was taken. Mac's economy is at 151, so he repaired it. Mine is back up to 79, so I've repaired my economy after that early tank. And UTS's economy has been tanked, partly due to losses of settlements, but also partly due to, I guess, the recruitment of... Why Shadow Knights? Okay, anyways, that's fine, whatever. So he's not building anything in the council town. I guess he's not making use of the F1 menu. Right? It's been left unbuilt for a very long time. So he must have completely forgotten that the F1 menu exists. That you can take a look at all your cities and add buildings there. Right, and how is Ethan doing on the right? So things on this side are kinda stalled. Oh, he actually has a lot of units. Pretty solid actually, wow. So there are like 5 short infantry. There is 3 magic units on bone bows. And I have no idea what the last one is. 1, 2, 3, 4, oh no, 6 infantry and 3 bone bows. Okay. And he's charging into a double posted village. Maybe not the smartest choice. I think what really hurts is that we never scouted this. If we had scouted this earlier and known about it, could have attacked it. And regardless. So things are looking grimmer and grimmer in the center, right? With the added reinforcements from Fluke and the added units from Jay. Green, though, is applying pressure on this side, kinda. Right. What pressure he can, anyways. It did take down a village, at the very least. So it's not like it didn't kill anything at all. And it looks like his economy recovered, because the Shadow Knights died. But the problem is, him pulling out from the left basically meant I was fighting a 1v2 with some reinforcement. Well, I guess Mac had some reinforcements here. But it's not looking pretty, that's for sure. Or even more so. Alright, so Mac, due to applying pressure on both sides, he is limiting Jay. So that's why Jay never pushed him any further. Because I was expecting losses here. I was expecting to get deeper, but Mac fortunately applied pressure. And these veteran first dragoons are just crushing it. He's been able to apply enough pressure that Blue could not advance any further. And in fact, Blue continues to get his economy ripped apart by Mac. On this side, we managed to hold on. But we are definitely severely outnumbered. Oh, I got my first few Inf Channeler Wizard units. Oh, very cool. Mogok's spell immunity makes him immune to the sorceresses, so that he can't get frozen and killed. Five units here, and they are driven off again. Oh. And Papa has an elite bowman with an Oracle and Stormlord in play. Complete completely paralyzed, had to disband them. No. They were Shadow Priests, but it seemed, I think I got hit, frozen by the Prophets, not just the Shadow Priests. So there goes one of the Super Scouts. But it did put my wood and mana at a decent level, so that I can retrain units. So Mac is doing a little bit of everything. He is raiding, right? He is helping me hold the line in the center here. And Mac loses one of his Kohan. And may very well lose this too. Yep. So, I guess sometimes the sorceresses are pretty darn good. They can do things like that. Freeze you and lock you down. Poor Jay continues to get hammered and attacked and raided. Right, there was another village taken down. Okay. I temporarily had both of these, but they're all both going to be gone now. And more reinforcements. These from UTS. Mac has some reinforcements there. There's his raiding army, which was supporting my forces, looks like. Until they weren't. So at that point, had to retreat. No way to hold on. But the distance I'm retreating is far, and some of the units definitely died. Interesting to see. Both Fluke is actually at the same economy as UTS. Very low, basically. And I would... And it's almost illogical because Fluke had tanked for probably not the best units, I would say. Like this, for example, could be turned to Mana Forge to help support the negative mana. And yeah, well, in any case, it is what it is. Somehow we're managing to hold on. Although UTS keeps losing settlements. I'm up to 10 units, which includes an engineer now. There's 1, 2, so engineer, 3 super scouts, and then I guess 2 of these guys. And then 4 magic units. And Mac is all the way up to at 171 income. Yeah. Again, if I had another town here, if I knew about that slot, that would have allowed me to train up a lot more. Oh, I now have 5 ore and 4 mana. That should let me recruit another unit. Like another infantry guy. So there's a mage, Inf Wiz, and I would probably train Inf Chandler Wizard here. interesting to see. Despite the economy tanking they've been doing, they are taking towns. It's not like they're not taking anything, but they're not raising them. And so we're able to recover and drive them off. So what is really hurting them here is not the fact that they're tanking and so on, it's the fact that they didn't have any outposts. If they had a proper push with outposts, where if they had to retreat, they could retreat and heal, things would be different. But they have to retreat very, very far, and we've been able to repeatedly drive them off. Down goes this top there. But overall, just too many. So he grouped up here. Why are they entrenched? Oh my goodness. He had a perfect opportunity to attack this. But because he just waited here, instead, the enemy got to move his units, got to shift everything over to fight. In they push. Here comes my defense. With some of them, not all, because some of these guys are still filling up. And Papa seems to have tanked for some extra EBs. But I was able to drive away the push. What's killing them here is the lack of frontliners. They have a lot of archers, but no front lines. And honestly, they have way more resources committed to this fight in the center than I do. But the lack of frontliners is causing them to lose over and over again. Here we go again. Seem to be losing units and retraining them. At least a few. Because those sorceresses are freezing up the units. He's grouping up everything now. 4 EBs. His... Oh, and here comes blue as well. They're sending 3 players into the fight here. And I had just upgraded this to a town. Oh, Thaddeus got frozen, so he's dead. Those sorceresses. 3-player push in the center. Not looking good. And he, once again, has way too many units entrenched, doing nothing. That's what's allowing them to commit all their forces into center, because he's not applying pressure, right? If all of these units had pushed here, it would force him to break off some units and so on, probably. Or if he comes in the middle, we have more units to fight them off. But nonetheless, they're pushing in, and once again, they don't really have any frontliners. A terrifying number of ranged attackers, but no real frontliners. Continuing to throw in unit reinforcements, or try to, is what I'm kind of doing. Have a lot of gold on hand due to selling, but I just sold this town, and now I have to sell this village as well. So it's leaving me in a bit of a rough position. Econ's dropped now to plus 25. Okay. Here comes the battle. Everything moving in now. So I'm down to 2 super scouts, but I have a bunch more magic armies now. Although some of them are still healing up. Like this one and this one. And we were able to drive them off once again. And they raised my town. So Mac came in, with all his units, and we were able to just force back that 3-player push as a result of this. FN is continuing to apply some pressure in the center. And there we go. So, crushed a lot of their bowmen as a result. Yeah. So again, army composition matters. Can't stress that enough. All those bowmen without any frontliners is really costing them. He's finally making a move. But like, come on. 5 magic units against 3. No, 2! He should have done this way before. Should have attacked. Yeah, what a missed opportunity. He is attacking now though, at least, but too late. Like, all those EBs have been healed up already. When the EBs were committed into center, if he had pushed in hard, he probably could have crushed several cities, I imagine, right? Could have kind of bounced in. Oh well. Mac now flanking in the middle. Mac seems to be jumping from battlefield to battlefield. And in the center, up to 11 units now, so... But it's roughly the same, just one of them is a pioneer to keep expanding. And rebuilding. So, once again, I need to mention it. If I had settled back here, that would allow me to build another settlement with something like this, right? Sawmill, iron, mana. And that would be like another 2 or 3 units. Oh, and I left a crossbow here. Oops. One of my army units is just sitting there. Okay, so now it's, I finally realized, and it's coming up to the front lines. Mac tanked, maxed out at 16 comps. Makes a lot of sense. And yes, UTS is finally pushing. Right. Starting to force them to commit units to the left flank. Much needed. And in the middle. Now it's my turn to push. So they spread out too much. Right? Their units are all spread out. Some are on the left flank. Some are now coming back to the middle to deal with me. Right? So by pushing at the same time as he did, I've basically kind of enabled him. Right? And that's really the whole point. You don't necessarily have to win your side. What is key is you have to draw at least some attention from the enemies. Because that gives you the opportunity to strike like this. Well, so both of us weren't paying attention here, and it looks like we both lose our engineers. Yep. I'm getting hit. All directions pretty much, so it's time to retreat. There they go. Uh-oh. Some of the guys are retreating right into the enemy. So there goes some of the units. They're just running the wrong way. So, yep. A whole bunch of units eliminated again. And this one got caught as well. Wow. Basically lost like 3 infantry units, if not more. Oh, and Max Dragoons died here. His high level unit died. What happened to the Heroine? Oh, it looks like the Heroine got raised without me noticing. So while I was focusing on the battle on the left, sometime the Heroine got attacked and raised. Very cool. What I can say is, at the very least, they haven't been able to break through my lines. They have repeatedly destroyed these outposts, and they have repeatedly taken the city, but I've been able to resettle it and re-seize the territory. Papa's elite bowmen are now veteran level though, so their attack values are steadily increasing. It's getting kind of rough. Sorry. Gonna lose the settlement yet again. So I'm gonna lose the settlement again, but there's no way he can actually break through my lines due to all these additional units that are healing up. Here they come. crossbows got killed. Some of them are not in range of healing, like this super scout. Alright. Oh. Mac went from 18 units or 16 units down to 12 here. Not sure what happened there, but... And I lost a few, right? I'm down to 9 units. But I think some of them were just the engineer and so on. It's not as terrible as it seems. And at this point, UTS is kind of establishing a front on the left side. So he's drawing a good amount of attention now with the units he has there. Which is why there was less pressure on me in the center. Because UTS was finally pushing and engaging and keeping the enemies off my back. I haven't really focused on what happens on the right side at all this whole replay, but mostly, you know, FN's been it's been like a game of raiding, it looks like. FN seizes a few things, then, you know, they raid back and destroy some towns, then it goes back to the other side. Right? The lack of all the cities having outposts and so on is enabling the raiding. Of course, it's pretty hard to outpost everything. Resources being the issue. So yeah. Alright. Over there. Yeah. UTS. Drawing a good amount of attention. Some super lancers, some bone guys, some horse archers, some of these stormlord units and so on. Alright. And Papa's Dragoons. Back up to the 10 units now that I've trained up my engineers once more. The real limiter on my further recruitment has really been cities. So I can't stress that enough. So once again, if I had known this was here, just one extra city with this stuff would have been like another 2 or 3 armies. Would have made all the difference. Right? If I had 2 more Inf Chen Wiz and maybe another Archer Wiz, you know, that's like another pack of armies that can fight. Oh. Papa's Dragoons raiding this Sia with the iron export, which would really hurt UTS's economy at this point because he had tanked. I have my super scouts coming in, but these guys hit elite mode. So elite elite with a restored rabid is just too much. 27 defense, like, my goodness. My scouts don't have enough attack. My rangers were still recovering damage, right, after having pressed over. So couldn't really stop him at all. I was just doing minimum damage. So that is rough. UTS still hasn't sold. Oh well. And once again, trying to push through the enemies here. Oh! I was able to kill off the Kohan. Jilla. Was... and I took out the bowman. So veteran elite bows actually died there. That's big. Continue to try to fight, but the lack of morale forced them to rout. And yeah. I might have been able to, it would have been very dangerous to keep fighting. So. It would have been very, very close, but also very dangerous. He raises it and retreats. At least we're able to capture and destroy that village. So. Papa is holding on to a lot of gold. 544? Too much. And yeah, there's a big army dealing with UTS now. So. And that is actually why I've been able to make a push in the center repeatedly. Because UTS drew so much attention. And it looks like Fluke tanked so that he could try to stop my push. Interesting. You don't see these often. Cabs with Elementalists and Celebrants. It's kind of like a troll unit, honestly. Almost a waste of resources. Like, you could get, you know, 3 infantry mages with this. So for 2 of them, you can have 6 inf mages. Yeah, not a big fan. Oh, each to their own. An elite bow there. Effen's skeleton prophets are melting to the battle priest and so on. So yeah, kind of a back and forth on that side. Big assault to the center, but I don't think it's going to be very successful. Just too many enemies. Exciting though. Very exciting to watch. It's a pretty big push from our side. Oops. Dead Shadow Beast. Yeah. These elites are too much, it looks like. Can't sustain the morale, so most of my army retreated back. And of course, Papa comes in from the middle again. Oh, there's also a big raid here. So I tried to defend with my 2 super scouts, but you can't fight off 4 enemies with 2. But with that raid, UTS was able to make a hard push into here and probably destroy the Sia town. Not worth it for them. They capture a village and then they lose a town for that. And I start moving some of my units towards in this direction. Just trying to push into these Cavalier guys was just not worth it. So change attack vectors. Right? Attack towards the center area. Oh, he actually didn't take it. Wow. Fair enough. So Papa shifted everything there, leaving an opening for me to push into here. And that's what's happening. So they shift here. I now push right into his gut. Jay is moving some defenders in. But it shouldn't be enough. We'll see. And then on their side, they're moving into here too. It's like whenever one side sees a weakness, they push in. That was more than I thought they would send. Oh, but I did end up winning. Somehow. And that let me raise that. Meanwhile, here they just crushed the outposts, and they're now pushing into my settlement there. Man, oh man. But not very many left. Just 3 units. So no way for them to actually push in successfully. Those EBs are continuing to drive UTS back. But at least UTS is occupying them. Okay, so I have a unit that I didn't bring into healing. Interesting. Looks like I'm losing control of some of my battlefield. But it's been a long battle. It's at the hour and 13-minute mark now. Everywhere you see clashes going on. Oh, and in the far north, Mac is making a hard push with Epping. And Mac having 16 units is what's allowing that to happen. So, center, here we go again. This time I'm pushing into this location. And I was actually able to upgrade to 14 units. So the difference that having this extra settlement makes, right? I now have 14 units rather than the 10 that I was stuck at for the longest time. So again, if I had built here, I think this would have been over much earlier. Nonetheless, things are looking good now. UTS has 11 units, so he's able to draw a solid amount of attention. I have 14, which is very hard for them to deal with. Papa is raiding with the elite goons with the restored Rabbit in a very dangerous spot. Dangerous to the point where I just said, I'm not going to push here. I'm going to go for the kill. Right? So, the whole army is moving in to go after the Dragoon. Mac is losing units here and there. So, their invasion kind of stalled, it looks like. In the north. No real surprise. And the Dragoon is caught. There's no way it's going to escape. Not with wizards backing up all of this. So yeah. Rabbit dies. Super Scouts will have the opportunity to finish off the Dragoon. So instead of me pushing, they pushed me. Since I had sent up all of those unresolved. Which is fine. I'm gonna lose some units, I think. But on the whole, worth it. Getting to kill this elite Dragoon. And when they pushed, UTS makes a move, and he'll be able to probably hammer that down. Let's see. So that pulled Papa's forces off of me. And now just 1.5 are moving in. Right. And I'm actually in a position where I can kind of hit them from both sides, right? Them from here, these guys from there. And then maybe even have the Super Scouts hit them from behind. So lots of flanking opportunities there. Alright, UTS sees the Sia. Able to drive him off. Is he able to raise this? I think he will. I think he might. He just needs to knock these guys back, and then this is gone. Yeah, so route. A lot of his units are routing too. But he was able to kill off an EB. Oh, he didn't have the opportunity to raise. But killed a whole bunch. And over here, yeah, what I said earlier just happened. So, fight them here, hit them from the side as well. And I forgot to engage the Super Scouts. They just stood there. So, no raise on the Sia, but he forced the sail. And my armies are basically fully healed and ready to push. And in Effin goes with his army. Right. In goes Mac. Dealing with all of these guys. And over here in the center is my armed units. Oh, I have a few units just camped and not doing much again. Like the settler and this archer unit. But here we go. I'm up to 50. So now that I was able to expand a bit more, it let me get my economy to support more units. So I'm up to 15 companies of troops. Pretty late compared to Mac and so on, but now that I have roughly equal forces as him, I can draw so many players' attentions. Multiple players have to commit their forces to fight against me now. And UTS's units are not moving, as usual. Right. Some of them retreated out, rotating some reinforcements now. This guy. And they surrender at this point. Yeah. Now that UTS committed in as well, with all their units damaged, UTS is able to just charge in with no defenders left. So they gave up, especially when they're pushing in, Ethan is pushing on this side too. So, finally the stalemate broke at the very end. We're able to turn the tides and just smash them in from all fronts. But wow, that took a long time. Quite an exciting battle overall. Just, there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of defense, and finally, at the end though, our economy was able to overtake theirs and give us the units to come out on top. Hope you found that video interesting as an analysis video, and that's it for today. Thanks for watching everyone. Nitro out.